If you look at it from the middle of the 1930s up until the year 1980, so the Depression up to the year 1980, the lower 90% of the population in this country, we might call the American people, that group took home 70% of the growth in the country's income. If you look at the same numbers from 1997 up until now, from the height of the great dot-com bubble up to the present, and you find that this same group, the American people, pocketed none of this country's income growth at all. Our share of these great good times was zero, folks. The upper 10% of the population, by which I mean our country's financiers and managers and professionals, consumed the entire thing. To be a young person in America these days is to, I think, understand instinctively the downward slope that so many of us are on these days. College costs are out of control, you know this. The university where I got my PhD back in the 80s and 90s today costs nearly $65,000 a year to attend. You go there for 4 years, that's more than $250,000, folks. You want to go to a university like that, you got to take out a lot of loans. And as I travel this country, I am forever meeting young people who are $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 in debt, and they're just starting out life, folks. They're going out into this Uberized economy of ours with the equivalent of a mortgage and no house to show for it. Now, at the other end of the social ladder, of course, it is all upside all the time. Back in 1980, American CEOs made about 40 times as much as our average blue-collar line worker. Today, it's 373 times. One particularly lucky American family, in fact, has as much wealth as does 40% of the population put together. The main accomplishment of the 6 high-achieving members of this family was to inherit shares in Walmart, the retailer that has sucked the life out of thousands of towns in this part of the country. And that's where we are, folks, nearly 10 years now after the financial crisis. Growth that doesn't grow and prosperity that doesn't prosper. The country, I think people understand now, is simply no longer arranged in such a way as to make its citizens economically secure. And that's the country that elected Donald Trump president. What I am saying, folks, is that the middle class is disintegrating in the great middle class nation. And you know this is true. There is outrage and there is fury around every corner, and you just scratch the surface and it comes screaming out at you.